Hello, welcome to Invictus Motors. We've got this Porsche 911, the 997 Generation 1, and I'll just be reviewing this car, just talking about every nook and cranny of the 997.1. I've done quite a few of these reviews, but this is the one with the 3.6 litre engine, and perhaps in this video I'll cover why you should consider the 3.6 litre and why I actually like the 3.6 litre and this one in specific. What I most like about the Porsche 997 is Porsche's commitment over the years since 1963 to the style and the performance over the years that they have instilled in their brand, especially in that 911 brand. And there's no better place to actually start this than underneath the boot lid, because underneath this boot lid is why I'm so inspired and why I actually became a Porsche specialist and why we do what we do. And that's purely down to the 996 and predominantly the 997. And the 997, well, of course, has the indirect fuel injection engine. This is the 3.6 litre naturally aspirated. It sounds raw, characterful, and it sounds gruntier, especially with the switchable sports exhaust system. It's from this engine that you get this incredible sound that I need to illustrate, just be getting behind the wheel and taking it out for a proper spin. And whilst through that test drive, I'll be talking about why the attention to detail, the precision, the handling, and the absolute powerhouse that this 997, even with a 3.6 litre engine is. I mean, you really feel that slight kick just by test driving it as soon as you get into something like this. So let's get into it, start it up and take it out for a proper drive. Any 911, 997 Generation 1 or the 996 or anything older than that, it's always important to not start the engine immediately. Just turn the key, wait for that 6-second countdown, clutch down. It's started now. It's got the parking sensors which work. And straight away, you've got this beautiful gruntier sound that you feel from the engine straight away, from immediately, whether it's a cold or a warm start. And that's something that you don't necessarily feel and have in the 997 Generation 2s. The 997.1s, to me, are absolutely the perfect balance of what you get: performance, style, handling, the overall sound, look, feel, you know, everything possibly offered in a 911. The 997 for me kind of does it all, and that is ultimately, if there's one 911 that I could just have, obviously for sensible money within my budget, something that I can comfortably afford, daily drive, live with, and not have to kind of sweat thinking that I'm driving, you know, an 80,000 pounds Porsche 911, because an 80,000 pounds Porsche 911, my absolute dream 911 would be the Porsche 911, the 991 Generation 2 Carrera 4S or the Carrera 4 GTS. So if I can't spend 80,000 pounds and not to lose any sleep, what will I get? The 997.1. And here it is. What I'd like to do is just stop here for a second. And even just accelerating this while stationary, you can just feel that little bit of a jolt that you feel pressing the accelerator pedal. And immediately the responsiveness that you feel from the engine is credit and a testament to Porsche. And this picks up speed so well. And the sound, and and it having the proper 6-speed manual transmission, very engaging, incredibly fun and enjoyable just to go from that second, third gear, fourth gear, and just take something like this through its paces. And where this is very comfortable from just the revs side of things is ideally, between 2,000 to 3,000 revs per minute when you're driving in a scenario like this local village, country village life, or maybe even in the city. And if you want to now push it and you want to actually get a good feel for the sound, it's really at about 4,000 RPM where it starts to open up. The 3.6 litre engine that this has, the naturally aspirated flat 6 engine, just quickly about the performance figures. This gives you 325 brake horsepower, 370 Newton meters of torque. The top speed is a staggering 177 miles per hour, and the 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds. And that's everything you need to know on the performance side of things, on the performance numbers. And now, I'm stuck behind a Mini. I'm joking. We'll put our foot down. And what the really nice thing about something like this is that you're able to just take it through its paces all the way to the 6th gear on just under 70 miles an hour, quite conveniently, quite comfortably. It's not a back-breaking exercise in any way, form or shape. From a spec point of view, this is finished in this gorgeous basalt black metallic color, complemented with the 18-inch sport design alloys. Spec-wise, I've already mentioned the sports exhaust. It's got the expensive upgraded PCM system as well. And overall on the inside, something not to my taste, someone down the line has uprated some of these trims to the carbon trims that you find here on the center console, on the door cards here on the side. The gear selector feels nice to hold on to. The PCM system there offers the PCM3 navigation, the European navigation system, as well as you've got the parking sensors to the back. It's got a good radio system as well, if you need to listen to music. But music to your ears should really be this. This is music, not the music that's going to be coming out of that speaker system. And ultimately, if you want to tinker, refine, improve, and get ultimately the best wow and feel factor from a Porsche 911, I think the 997 in that space is probably one of the best cars to tinker with. And yes, on the inside, somebody wanted to tinker by adding all these carbon trims. These door cards are, as a matter of fact, not expensive at all. Having been looking on eBay, they're about £125 for each one of these door cards. There's quite a few available, and that, from an improvement point of view, would be one of the very few improvements. If you wanted to take it back to standard, you can do. But other than this, I think it's a phenomenal example, good service history, good number of owners, and I'll be going through the remaining paperwork as well, because we're just coming towards the end of our test drive. And hopefully I've given you enough information just in case you're curious and fascinated about the Porsche 911, the 997. Doesn't matter which part of the world you come from, and if you want to get into one, you can indeed comfortably get into one of these. The residual values are also very good on them as well, so it's not a back-breaking exercise when it comes to maintaining them, looking after them, and down the line, as a matter of fact, selling them on. This is being the later 997 Generation 1, the very later, I mean, registered in 2008. They're just that bit better in terms of how they feel and drive, and overall they have a wonderful sound, and you know, to some degree they almost feel as if these have the power kit installed, you know, the power kit that you normally find in the 997 GTSs, the .2 GTSs, or the 991 or the 991.1 that's got the naturally aspirated 3.8 litre engines, and some of those had the exclusive power kit installed from factory. And the sound from the exhaust. Just a very nice sound. So thank you for being here with us through the test drive video, test drive side of things, and let's review the paperwork. Now on the service history side of things, this is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's got the perfect number of owners. That's if you're somebody that is actually confirmed about the numbers of owners, the number of owners on a Porsche 911. Some people can get quite pedantic about things like this. It's got 3 owners from new, and the current owner, Nick, has had this since 2016. He's looked after it at the same Porsche specialist. Prior to Nick, the 2 owners that have had it between them also actually kept it for quite some time because it's 2000, it's on a 57 plate, but as a matter of fact, registered in 2008. So it's the very later Porsche 997 Generation 1. So it's got the uprated IMS bearing. They don't suffer from bore scoring, as I've actually already talked about. They don't suffer from bore scoring as much as the sort of earlier 997 might do, because they kind of evolve slightly one step at a time, and they improve these cars incrementally. This is why the climate control buttons were the uprated buttons, the transmission, the whole engine, just everything, the whole look and feel of the later 997s, the Generation 1s, are so much better as you actually come into the 57, the 58, or even the 07 plates. Now, just to kind of take you through the service spoke, it's been serviced exactly as it should be serviced when required, because it's done 86,000 miles. It does need that due care as well. So the company, the specialist Porsche Car Tech and Care, have serviced it in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2015. And then it's gone on with them until 2016. So this is kind of you know, the service history until then. And then after that, in 2018, it's been serviced at Porsche Centre Cambridge, and afterwards by the Porsche specialist called Bartek. They're based also in Cambridge, and they serviced it in 2020 and 2022. The next service that it has due on is in February 2024. It's HPI Clare, and additionally, from the MOT point of view, it's got an MOT until December 2023. Overall, this is a good car. It's been well maintained from an engine and from a mechanical point of view. It's got a very good specification. And if you're actually looking for a later generation 997, Generation 1 997, I think this is definitely one of those sought-after cars, and one I personally was very happy and very much looking forward to getting into my stock, and one that I'm always very enthusiastic and very happy to actually review. So hopefully I've answered all of your questions and concerns on this Porsche 911. It's also been bore checked, and it's had an over rev report done as well. So from a mechanical point of view, it's absolutely spot on. Yes, you know, you might need to, during your ownership, you might need to just account for a bit of maintenance upkeep down the years and down the line as you put and rack up the mileage. But that's the beauty of the Porsche 911s. As you put a bit of money into it, you will get that out by the joy and the experience you get out of it. And just down the line, something like this, even if it does another 20,000 miles, I see no reason for why something like this can't, as a matter of fact, be still retail in 2 years' time for £25,000. And that's true testament for the absolutely incredible product that Porsche makes. So now, just to kind of summarize this video and kind of end on a good positive note, thank you for watching our videos, our content. We earn out of YouTube. So this channel has earned us about £200 in the last 28 days. The other channel, £115. We donate that to a UK registered charity. We've got humanitarian projects like water wells, having an orphan program where kids get given a bit of money, get sent to a good school and gets looked after, and their families, so that country Afghanistan can have a slightly brighter future in the years to come. And at the same time, we do food packages as well. So you subscribing, commenting, following us, supporting us, it makes a difference. We appreciate it. And throughout this process, yes, of course, we have a passion and a hobby for cars. I'm standing right next to this beautiful Aston Martin AMR Hero Edition. Behind me is a GT3 RS. So we do make the living that we need to make out of these cars, but it's always also nice to actually kind of give something back, and this is our opportunity as a Porsche specialist to kind of be able to offer something back. So thank you once again. Don't forget to subscribe, share our content, share our videos, and if you'd like to donate to the charity directly, the link is in the description below. Thank you. Bye bye.